local, late-breaking. This is WDSU News at 5.
Right now at 5, the death of 49-year-old Nanette Krentel of Lacombe has been ruled a homicide by the St. Tammany coroner. Good evening, I'm Sala Kim.
And I'm Sean Kreisman. This follows an autopsy request by Krentel's family and confirms what many believe to be the case. WDSU reporter Heath Allen joins us live. And Heath, here, the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff doesn't necessarily agree with the coroner here.
Father actually down from Iowa, a fourth time for what he hoped would be the final autopsy on his daughter. That took place yesterday. And this morning, things got a little bit confusing for the family, and they're just a touch upset.
So when we hear things about investigations being impeded or, the coroner's findings possibly being refuted, it's very disheartening. I don't understand the politics of it.
Nanette Krentel's father, down from Iowa, this time for the final autopsy on his daughter, 49-year-old Nanette Krentel. The wife of St. Tammany District 12 Fire Chief was found in the rubble of her home, burned to the ground last July. Investigation found, though, she had been shot. After a series of autopsies and expert assistance from LSU, St. Tammany Parish Coroner Dr. Charles Preston ruled the death a homicide.
One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is there was no soot in her airway, even on microscopic examination. And so that strongly argues that she was dead at the time the fire started.
Minutes after the announcement, St. Tammany Parish Sheriff Randy Smith called a press conference for 10 o'clock Thursday, indicating his office doesn't necessarily support the coroner's conclusions.
I would have thought they would work better together, but there seems to be some political issues that separate them, and they don't work well at all.
Also tomorrow, another hearing on behalf of the family to preserve the evidence collected in the Krentel investigation.
Because we knew that there was some inconsistency between what different agencies were viewing the situation, we were concerned about the loss of evidence.
I just never expected that I would be the parent of a child who was taken away from us.
It's been very hard on the family. Again, the coroner in St. Tammany Parish is ruling that Krentel's death was indeed a homicide. We'll hear from the sheriff and the state fire marshal tomorrow. In Metairie, Heath Allen, WDSU News, back to you.
All right, Heath, thank you very much. Tonight, an alleged home intruder is dead in St. John the Baptist Parish. This happened last night in LaPlace. WDSU's Tammy Eswick, she spoke with a sheriff a short time ago. She joins us live now with more details on this. Tammy.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. The sheriff tells us that that homeowner admits that he shot that man, but only after he barged into his home in the 3000 block of Cambridge Drive here in LaPlace. Now, the sheriff says that there is also a witness and surveillance video to back up that homeowner's story. Now, once again, this happened around 8 o'clock last night when the homeowner says he got home with his witness. They walked into the house and heard the voices of two people in their fenced-in backyard. That's when the homeowner walked to the back door with his gun in his hand. And surveillance video, according to the sheriff, shows that man barging into the house as soon as the door is open. Tonight, the sheriff's team says they have a focus on one thing: finding that second person.
Our focus right now is finding this other voice, who this other person was. So if anybody out there can help us identify who this other person is, it would be of tremendous help.
That's right. The sheriff focused on finding that second person connected to this case. Once again, that homeowner is not facing any charges in connection with this deadly shooting. And coming up at 6 o'clock, we're hearing from neighbors in that neighborhood what they have to say about this shooting, especially one neighbor where it happened steps away from her door. Tammy Eswick, WDSU News.
right, Tammy, thank you. A trial date has been set in the fatal crash of an out-of-control Lamborghini driver here in Orleans Parish. Jason Adams will be tried for vehicular homicide starting December 12th. The trial date was set during a hearing in Orleans Criminal District Court today. The passenger in the car, 23-year-old Christy Lorette, died when the sports car slammed into a flood wall along Chapatula Street. This happened back in May of 2016. Police say Adams was driving 118 miles per hour at the time and had a blood alcohol of 0.11, which is over the legal limit. Adams has pleaded not guilty to the charges. Two off-duty St. Bernard Parish deputies had to be airlifted to a New Orleans hospital after an ATV accident. The sheriff says they were riding four-wheelers on a private property, Bayou Road, when this accident happened. Right now, we don't know how they're doing, and their names have not been released. The cause of this accident is under investigation.
And to weather now, and a look out from the riverfront this afternoon. My, oh my. Gorgeous blue skies filled with sunshine, white clouds over the Crescent City Connection Bridge. It was another great looking day outside. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr here now with the first check on that forecast. Margaret, look at that.
I know, it is so pretty. I would really like to go for a walk and see that sunset. It's at 7:08. Look how pretty it is at the lakefront. There's some Optimist sailors out there right now. We can check out what's happening. A few sprinkles just to the northeast of Hattiesburg. Not much out there. Here is a close-up view, and it's looking great over southeast Louisiana and South Mississippi. Going into the evening, isolated sprinkle is possible for tomorrow. About a 10% chance of rain. A little bit warmer, too. Highs mid to the upper 80s, but then look at this. As you go into Friday, our rain chances go up, and that's when you're really going to feel the humidity. Highs so far today, 84. The average 88 degrees. Right now it's 83, and the humidity still not bad, but we've got a south wind at 10 miles per hour. That's sending in more warm, moist air. 84 Bogalusa, 82 at the lakefront, 82 at Homa with that southerly flow. And as we go into the evening on the North Shore, temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler, but South Shore mid-70s, North Shore we're going to be in the low 70s right at 10 o'clock. More on your increasing rain chances coming up.
Margaret, thank you. At least 8 people have died at a South Florida nursing home following Hurricane Irma. Florida's governor today called on first responders to check healthcare facilities statewide in the wake of the storm. And officials in Hollywood, Florida say there was an issue with the air conditioning at the nursing home. 115 people were evacuated.
Very disappointed that something like this could have taken place. I think there were certainly many ways emergency services could have been alerted to this circumstance, and unfortunately, emergency services were called, obviously, too late.
So also in Florida today, the Navy and volunteers are now stationed in the area, and they're providing food and water to the victims. Tanker trucks are on the move across the state, providing fuel to gas stations. Recovery efforts continue in the gateway aisle to the U.S. Virgin Islands. In St. Thomas, there is an 18-hour curfew a day. So security was an early concern for officials after Irma passed through last week. But officials say things are more under control now. Officials are working to get supplies to residents as they work to clear debris. Another goal here is to get the airport on the west end of the island reopened.
Well, it could be another 4 to 6 months before the debris from homes damaged by Hurricane Harvey in the Houston area is all hauled off. Thousands of homes flooded in the Houston area and Harris County. Each day, trucks are measured and certified before heading out. About 30 trucks a day visit some neighborhoods. Officials say they will remove 6 million cubic yards, enough to trash there to fill dump trucks from Texas to Portland, Oregon. And $11 billion could be paid out to homeowners affected by Hurricane Harvey. This is according to National Flood Insurance Program estimates there. So that would put the storm as the second costliest behind Hurricane Katrina, when more than $16 billion was paid out there. A FEMA administrator says it's too soon to estimate the losses from Hurricane Irma, but that it is possible that storm could rival Superstorm Sandy, where $9 billion was shelled out.
City business leaders are all abuzz over the possibility that the world's largest online retail company could consider New Orleans for its second headquarters.
That's right. Yeah, Amazon looking at cities across the U.S. and Canada, and recent reports list New Orleans as a possibility. WDSU's Travers Mack will live downtown with what business leaders say about this idea. Travers.
Well, bottom line, Sean, they like it. They feel like it's a step in the right direction for New Orleans to be mentioned in conversations like this. They feel the city has made great strides, especially as it pertains to business development since Hurricane Katrina hit back in 2005. Could New Orleans be on the cusp of landing potentially the largest business development deal ever? Online shopping giant Amazon, with a home base in Seattle, Washington, is looking to build a second headquarters. In essence, a city within a city, an 8 million square foot compound with more than 40,000 jobs.
Well, we love all the buzz, and we think that actually the New Orleans region has a really good chance of making what I'd call the medium short list.
Michael Hecht with business development group G&O Inc. says the potential deal has pros and cons.
We've got some great positives. We're low cost, we're high culture, and I think that a lot of companies love the narrative of the comeback of New Orleans, not just from where we were before, but better than ever. But then on the other side of it, the reality is that other markets are larger in terms of the workforce than we are, places like Chicago and Toronto.
A recent New York Times article listed New Orleans as one of several potential sites. Other cities include Chicago, Toronto, Denver, and Austin, to name a few.
It is amazing that New Orleans is always in the discussion now for major economic development news.
But any deal is far from reality, as competition will be tough. Published reports hint that the old Charity Hospital site could serve as a potential location for Amazon.
And the next mayor and the next city council, along with the entire business community, are going to have to think about how to develop that 9 square blocks. So as I've said many times, you know, the city in 1960 had 680,000 people in a much smaller physical footprint, but this city's got a lot of room in it to do a lot of big, innovative things.
One big attraction for New Orleans, the soon-to-be-built airport. Amazon says it seeks a city with a lot of direct flights in and out of that location. A decision still months away. For now, we're live downtown. I'm Travers Mackel, WDSU News.
All right, Travers, thank you. Also tonight, a very special program on the opioid crisis. We hope you will join us and help us build a virtual wall of remembrance. Using the hashtag #StateOfAddiction, please share a picture, a video, a story, or a tribute to someone you want to remember. You want to remember them for their life, not their struggle. Or if you even have a story of hope, please post that and share that with us as well. Our State of Addiction special airs at 9 o'clock tonight, right here on WDSU.
Still ahead, President Trump reaching across party lines. More on his new effort to find common ground on Capitol Hill.
And I'm Fletcher Mackel here at the Saints facility in Metairie. After getting just 6 carries for 18 yards in Monday night's loss against Minnesota, does Adrian Peterson fit with the New Orleans Saints? Star quarterback Drew Brees answers that question just after the break.
And as we go to break here, a live look outside through our Skycam. You're watching WDSU News at 5. We'll be right back.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WDSU News at 5 with Sean Kreisman, Sulla Kim, and Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr.
Well, today, President Trump is hosting House members from both parties in hopes of coming to a deal on tax reform.
All this before sitting down with leaders of the Democratic Party tonight. Blaine Alexander has it all covered from Washington.
Tonight on the White House menu, another bipartisan dinner, this time with top Democrats Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer.
I'm pleased to welcome.
Hours earlier, President Trump hosting a bipartisan group of House members.
More and more we're trying to work things out together. That's a positive thing, and it's good for the Republicans and good for the Democrats.
Last night, he sat down with Senate Democrats and Republicans.
I commend him for doing it. I thought it was a very constructive meeting last night.
This new era of bipartisanship is exactly what the American public wants.
But is it what the president's party wants? Some concerned he is getting too friendly with Democrats Schumer and Pelosi.
We can all compromise and disagree about details. That's okay. But the basic package, we don't want to be determined by, Chuck and Nancy.
President Trump tweeting his encouragement on tax reform. Go Congress, go. While top Republicans promise, bipartisan or not, tax reform will happen.
Well, I would love to have the Democrats supporting and working with us in a constructive way on tax reform, but we're going to do it no matter what.
Meanwhile, Democrats working on their own wish list, including health care. Today on Capitol Hill, both parties releasing competing plans. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Washington.
Well, a local breakthrough to cure a deadly drug-resistant disease. Researchers at Tulane University have developed a new drug to treat malaria. That's after the parasite has become resistant. The most typical treatments result from an FDA trial. They were just released and showed the Tulane-developed medication could cure the mosquito-borne disease within just a week. Another larger clinical trial is in the works. Now, according to the university, more than 400,000 people die every year from malaria.
All right, turning now to weather on another glorious day. Gorgeous conditions outside. I think Sean wants to take the dog out for a run.
Yeah, I took her out earlier today out there. It felt a little more humid to me, though, Margaret.
You are absolutely correct, but still not bad.
Yeah.
That humidity going up for the next few days. But did you notice we're all in blue? The sky is blue. Go Blue NOLA Day. So that's really cool. Just want to check out the tropics, and there is a look at Jose. Max wind 75 miles per hour, kind of drifting to the southeast, 3 miles per hour. It is dealing with some stronger winds aloft and some dry air. Forecast track takes it to the northwest. It's kind of completing that loop and then to the north. Now, this is the European model. It's the model that did the best for Harvey and Irma, and it kind of brings it close to the mid-Atlantic coast. Here is a look at the global forecast model, taking it to the north, a little bit of a loop, and then shooting it off to the northeast. The reasoning, the potential that high pressure could build just to the north of the system. Meanwhile, we're looking at the remnants of Irma, rain over here in the Ohio Valley, dry air along the east coast, and we've had a little bit more cloudiness moving in. Overall, it was a truly wonderful day. Some rain just to the north of Hattiesburg. We're basically rain free. Slight chance of rain for tonight, but I want you to notice Friday. Rain chances are going up Friday, and they're going up Saturday too. This model indicating a whole lot of moisture out there in the Gulf. Do you know for this month, it has really been below average, kind of hard to believe for September, over 3 degrees below average, and we haven't had that much rain either. It's been to the east, it's been to the west. We've only had 0.08 of an inch of rain, and fall is going to arrive in about 8 days, September 22nd, right there at 3:02 in the afternoon. I don't know about you, but to me that's a touchdown. As we look at our morning lows, upper 50s to near 60s, so it was kind of cool this morning, but those morning lows are going to begin to edge upward. 83 degrees now. The humidity still not bad, but we've got a south wind at 10 miles per hour, so that means the warm, moist air is going to increase. Low to the mid-80s now. The warm spot, Bogalusa at 85 degrees. 9 o'clock, we're in the low to the mid-70s. Pretty nice. Go for that evening walk. There is a look at our morning lows. Look at how they're edging upward. So mid-60s to the mid-70s, and tomorrow is going to be warmer. Your high temperatures more in the mid to the upper 80s. Sneezing, sniffling, it's that ragweed that's the problem. The wind's beginning to die down. Look at this for tomorrow, south at 5 to 10, and that tidal range is great at about 1.5 feet, so you may just want to go fishing. Here is a look tomorrow, 3 in the afternoon, mid-80s, partly cloudy skies, slight chance of rain. Friday, a higher rain chance. Saturday, a higher rain chance. That's when you're really going to notice that humidity going up. Then high pressure builds aloft Sunday and Monday, a little hotter. Highs near 90, but great weather for tailgating for the Saints.
Well, after a tough loss for the Saints in the season opener there Monday night in Minnesota, the Saints are back at practice getting ready for one of their biggest tests this year.
Well, the defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots are in town this weekend. Sports anchor Fletcher Mackel joins us from the team's facility with a preview of the big matchup.
As the Saints get ready for the defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots this Sunday in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, one of the big questions surrounding the black and gold, does veteran running back Adrian Peterson fit with this franchise? I know he's played only one regular season game here in New Orleans, but in Monday night's loss against Minnesota, he had just 6 carries for 18 yards. On Wednesday afternoon, Drew Brees was asked, does he think it's all going to work out with AP?
if you win, then all that stuff takes care of itself, you know? And offensively, if we move the ball, if we score points, we create opportunities, then everybody's going to get them, you know, eventually. Everybody's going to get them. It's easy to second guess when you know, if you lose, you know, but when you win, winning cures a lot of things.
Back to the Saints game this Sunday against the Patriots. Despite it being the home opener for New Orleans, the Las Vegas odds makers still have the Patriots as a 6.5-point favorite. Reporting in Metairie, I'm Fletcher Mackel, WDSU News.
All right, Fletch, thank you. Next at 5, how many city landmarks are showing support of the men and women who serve New Orleans?
And a sign of good faith in the aftermath of Hurricane Irma, how a nun's act of kindness is helping one community recover. We'll show it to you after the break. Take a look at this video I'm about to show you. The driver of a car narrowly misses being crushed by a tree brought down by Tropical Storm Irma in Georgia. Here it is. Dash cam video from Spalding County shows the driver slamming on the brakes just as that tree fell onto the hood. Now, the driver who witnessed the incident jumped from his vehicle to assist. There he goes. The female driver said she was saved by a second and a few inches. She was stunned, but otherwise okay. And neighbors helping neighbors doesn't get much better than a nun with a chainsaw. An off-duty Miami-Dade police officer stopped to shoot this video of Sister Margaret Ann. While in full habit, she went to work cutting up fallen tree branches to clear debris left behind Hurricane Irma.
And it is Go Blue NOLA Day, a time to show support for local police. And major landmarks downtown are switching their bulbs to blue today. You'll see the special lights at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, Smoothie King Center, and Morial Convention Center. You might also notice a lot of people wearing blue today, like the WDSU crew. If you want to show your appreciation for police, the Go Blue NOLA Day started last year as a response to the ambush on police in Baton Rouge. NOPD officers and their families will also be treated to a family day to encourage a stronger bond within the law enforcement community. Well, stay tuned for NBC Nightly News, and then it's WDSU News at 6. And really, thank you to all law enforcement folks for what you do to serve our community.
And thank you to Margaret for wearing that beautiful
she
blue
reminded
dress.
us to wear blue.
Both of you.
And
Look at all
you
this
too.
blue. Well, thank you.
We're all in blue. Hey, and the weather tonight cooperates too. So here is a look. This evening, temperatures dropping into the low to the mid 70s right there at 9 o'clock in the morning. Kind of cool, not as cool as it has been.
All right, Margaret, thank you.
And we'll see you back here at 6.
Have a good night.